important for everybody to understand that all of us believe that we need to get to a point where eventually we can balance the budget.
The Cut, Cap, and Balance Act is currently the only proposal moving through Congress that has considerable public support. It has three elements to it. It says that we will raise the debt limit, but only after three important conditions have been met. First, we have to bring about significant short-term cuts to domestic discretionary spending for the fiscal year 2012 budget. Second, statutory spending caps that we set forth in the legislation that we proposed that would put the United States government on a 10-year glide path toward a balanced budget. Third, and I believe most importantly, it provides that no debt limit increase will take effect until Congress has passed, by the requisite two-thirds margin in both houses, a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution, and that amendment has then been submitted to the states for ratification. We believe that it would be irresponsible for the U.S. Congress to raise the debt limit yet again without putting in place permanent, binding, structural spending reform mechanisms to make sure that we're not back in the same position every few months from this point forward. And without those elements, many members of Congress, myself included, will oppose any and every effort to raise the debt limit.
I haven't looked at it yet. This cap or cut, cap, and balance, for example. When you look at the numbers, what you're looking at is cuts of $500 billion below the Ryan budget in any given year. I mean, it would require cutting Social Security or Medicare substantially.
The Cut, Cap, and Balance Act doesn't contain any cuts to Medicare at all. He's simply mistaken. He needs to do his homework. If he wants to challenge this, then so be it. But he needs to challenge it on the basis of the facts, not on the basis of facts that he invents for the purpose of trying to knock it down. The president's just wrong. It's understandable why some people might not want a balanced budget amendment, but most of those who really do oppose it are members of Congress who have failed repeatedly in the past to do their job, to do the right thing, to cut spending.
We don't need a constitutional amendment to do that. What we need to do is to do our jobs.
The president made the point, look, we don't need a constitutional amendment to balance the budget for us to do our job. But is he wrong? Maybe you do need something to force you guys to do your job because it's not being done now.
When the president says we just need Congress to do its job, we don't need a balanced budget amendment, we have to look at how that's worked out for us in the past. We also have to look at the motives of those who are making that claim. Look, every time Congress has raised the debt limit, there's been some discussion of how we do things differently moving forward. So far, that has yet to take effect. You know, federal law has required for years that we pass a budget every single year, and yet we find ourselves in Congress having gone more than 800 days without a budget being passed. We've got a president who has submitted a budget that failed to garner even a single vote in the United States Senate. Not even from within his own party did he get a single vote.
I've sat through a year and a half dealing with this whole deficit crisis, both with the Bowles-Simpson Commission and the Gang of Five, bipartisan efforts both, and I can tell you the president has put on the table a reasonable list of alternatives.
I find it amusing that in suggesting that all we need are more bipartisan commissions, he refers to the work of at least two bipartisan commissions that have failed to achieve what he hopes to achieve. The fact of the matter is that Congress has failed to do its job. If its job is to balance the budget, it's failed miserably and repeatedly. We need to restrict Congress's power to borrow. We need to clip Congress's wings, and the only effective, permanent, binding way to do that is through a balanced budget amendment.